Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 14, Week 3. Doing something a little unusual in these last two Week 3 flashback games, because I'm trying to save a little bit of time here. So, other than taking you through all of pick phase, I'm just going to look at the end here. Spoilers, the last pick is Shadow Fiend, and give my basic review of these rundowns. The Dragon Ball Zeus lineup has a hell of a lot to throw inside of a Chronosphere, but the Ganker x Ganker lineup is not super conducive for it. The Shadow Fiend that's about to come up is a little bit more, which has got me a little bit worried. It's going to be hard to chrono more than one guy, and they do have some saves if you don't get the right person. You have a bad and can just pop a Photic Shield on somebody who's inside, keep putting missed coils on them. Hoodwink can use the ult to take out quite a bit of your damage on the inside. You know, Ember Spirit can hit W on the Chronosphere, so on and so forth. I don't like the Winter Wyvern with the Faceless Void. I think it's too redundant of a pick. Most of the bans were very clearly sort of targeted, just sort of comfort bans. So I'm not huge on that, but, you know, there were enough there that it wasn't like a super major problem. Last time Molsky was on the Winter Wyvern, I gotta be honest, the performance wasn't great, so I'm a little worried for what happens this time as well. That's another part of it, but... yeah, everything on DBZ is going to be about the Faceless Void this game, and I gotta question that a little bit. You know, I do think it's a little too early in Boss's Pause 1 career to start doing these games where it's like, if he fails, the entire game fails, basically, especially when you consider there's a lot of really nasty stuff he's looking at. I mean, Ember Spirit's going to be able to chase him. Shadow Fiend could potentially just sneak on and blow him up. The Nature's Prophet Wink lane is going to be really annoying for the Faceless Void or anybody, really, to deal with. So let's just get on into this game here. We've got an awkward hold on a shot there of a very stretched neck Hoodwink. RG wants a little smack talk. I don't know if they're going to give it to him. Okay, why is Retta's statue this? It is a good like Lich animation at the very least. This is the only statue on this whole team. Okay. We've already seen the GXG statues a million times, right? Look, it's Do Not Feed After Midnight, the Blue Jay Classic. Here's Meepo looking right at your eyeballs. There we go. If you're a Meepo's girl, you might never mind. Dragon Ball Zeus starting out things hot and heavy here, going for a gank here. And ironically, even though Hoodwink was the one saying it's time to die, she's actually kind of the one in danger here. Good cookie comes out here. Even Void present for this. The Fairy Fire is actually gonna totally save her here. The Dragon Ball Zeus lineup just totally turning around, just giving up straight on this one, but they're kind of falling on Dynamite here a little bit. Well, I mean, Void is, but nobody else is, so envy him. Looks like 3 runes for Ganker x Ganker, though. Yeah, they actually are going to go for Kid Dynamite here after all. Sitting at about 100 health. Photic Shield's going to come in for a bit of a save effort. And the Aphotic up means that the Sav gets to go all the way through. That's a little part of a ban I don't know if a lot of people think much about. There you go. So overall, Dragon Ball Zeus put a lot of effort, put a lot of resources forward in that that pre-First Blood scenario there, the pre-round scenario, and got absolutely nothing for it, which is a bit unfortunate. Kind of ran into the worst possible person to go for there. Funnily enough, if it had been like Shadow Fiend that they all bumped into, then like Shadow Fiend's 100% dead. But like Hoodwink just had that big acorn there, not the big acorn, but the big stupid bushwhack there that just stopped everybody straight up in their tracks. Definitely good on Dark Ace for that one. Surviving that one, pulling a lot of pain. Once again, Code Line here is playing Pause 4 rather than Dark Ace, which is interesting. Seem to like to shift around this guy's position, the support line positions, quite a lot on this lineup. Just run whoever they want to be 4-on-4. And usually I wouldn't be too down with that, but just to be blunt, I mean, it doesn't really feel like either of the two supports on Ganker x Ganker are like super support experts. Like, their vision is acceptable by LD2L standards, but nothing more than that. Nothing more than you'd get from somebody like read a guide on vision once kind of situations. So it's probably okay. They really kind of always, it feels like, have two quote-unquote pause 4s anyway, so this is probably not a bad thing to do. You know, they don't have two pause 4 picks, they have two guys who kind of play it like they're pause 4s, is what I'm getting at there. Dynamite on top for last hits, but it's coming at a very great cost to himself here. He's taking a lot of heat, a lot of punishment. Having to go through many resources to stay alive here. Okay, this could be the end of the Dark Ace. First blood coming out here for Snapfire. Poor Dawnbreaker was too stunned to actually get that one. Still has a very good start. Dragon Ball Zeus and some funny Russian gibberish. They're definitely, this offlane, like, I think the only way that there's like a very realistic chance for Dragon Ball Zeus to win this game, saying as if I don't know the outcome of all the Week 3 games already, as if anybody in LD2L doesn't. But I think the only way they can really have a credible victory here is if this offlane like super duper dominates. So getting first blood there, very good start to the affairs here. And I think I like this Dawnbreaker into Ember Spirit lane for Dawnbreaker, especially seeing that the stupid the Starbreaker still works even when she's chained up.
My keyboard is not working.
Well, then try turning it off back on again. Easy fix. Get Dynamite once again just going to be hammered just for the crime of looking at this lane.
My keyboard is not working.
Every time, is Viper gonna say that voice line every single time he misses a last hit? Been playing this bot lane very aggressively in particular. It feels like this is almost like a safe lane in and of itself for Ganker x Ganker. You know, Abaddon is just holding the enemy lineup back so hard so far that Faceless Void really not able to farm this wave at all, while Furion is just casually right-clicking creeps basically. So, Void is starting to catch up a little bit now. Seems that level 4 changing this a little bit. It is kind of one of the downsides to the code line. Oh, okay. That Fire's only going to die here at top. The code line Baden build here, where you do not get Curse of Avernus in lane, is the interesting. Furion actually TP'd up here to try and secure this kill, but actually showed up too late. Very sad, just has to TP back in chain, but either way, not leveling up Curse of Avernus in lane is really not going to help him that much against a lane like this in the long run. Like, having a big shield is good, but maintaining the mana to use both the shield and the Mist Coil is going to be a bit of a pipe dream. And without the Curse of Avernus, there's never really going to be a way to kill the Faceless Void. He's just going to jump out of anything you do. Nor is there going to be a great ability to stop the Wyvern either, so... Well, the Abaddon Furion lane here is really good in theory. I think he needs to get that passive if it's going to do much... if it's going to be much more than on paper. At least one, you know. Curse duration, it never changes, right? And that's really what you're looking for here. You're looking for the silence. The slow is good, the slow helps, but you really need that silence here. Or at the very least, the threat thereof. Like, the enemy team has to continuously keep backing off from the lane to avoid getting silence, because the silence puts them at high risk. It doesn't matter if you don't get any kills, if they have to always be afraid of that and therefore can't really last hit. As a result, this lane is starting to lean into more of a stalemate situation here, with Void quickly catching up for the last hits here. Looter going out again. Popping in behind the Snapfire here to try and get some cheap shots in. Going to put some trees in a very awkward position for the Radiant there to both stop Dawnbreaker from being able to escape and get the kill on the Snapfire there, and that's what you're going to get with somebody who's just playing on a very, very comfortable hero like that. I think if you were looking at, you know, even like a theoretically better player on the Nature's Prophet there with less games, that's where some of that experience factor really comes into play for you. Very good play there by Looter. Looter, comma shooter. Been using a lot of aphotic shields and not much, which is not a great thing to do against Void. Just gives him the easy option to just hit W on you. Do not recommend doing this in this specific matchup.
You thought I missed. Denied.
Just chewing through clarities, chewing through supplies here. I actually just gave that particular clarity to Furion. If you recall earlier in this matchup, I said for Dragon Ball Zeus to have any credible ability to win this game, this offlane needed to completely smash their safe lane counterpart, which so far this ain't happening. Again, it's not the most action-heavy offlane in the world. Good save there by Hoodwink. And again, the Furion showing up here to make things worse for this offlane. But as I was saying, if the Dragon Ball Zeus lineup wanted any real chance to win, this offlane has to do super duper well, and so far that's not exactly how things have turned out. Rada's got 1 assist, sure, that's pretty good, but also has a death. Might have another one here. It's a very awkward time for him to still be trying to go in. Good dodge there by Blue Jay. I think maybe there's a little bit of element of I forgot they could do that going on here. You could definitely see the annoying Hoodwink and Nature's Prophet combo lending itself very well to that particular battle. Viper, who so far has had it rather easy, if uneventful, at mid. Rotating up top to try and stop this push on the T1 here. It's not going to get anything done. Very good just sequence of events there for the Nature's Prophet. While on the other hand, Abaddon is trying to take some custody here of the bot lane. Got himself a couple of last hits here, while Furion's been out ganking. That's not really translated into anything net worth-wise, though. Got him some XP, which is definitely very good, but I mean, without any Curse of Avernus levels, it's a little hard to say that it's meant much. And notably, Faceless Void is still rather hot on the trails of this offlane, which is an offlane that really should have just kind of had a clean victory here, I think. Still, you know, if nothing else, even if this offlane is kind of like just stalemated, it's been a lot better than, well, that's a lot better of a line here than a straight up loss, which is kind of what this Radiant safe lane is having right now. Ember Spirit going very far here, just forcing Dawnbreaker to just straight up route. She tries to jump bot to get involved in this situation down here, and then Furion hits one button and she dies. Good sprout there. Blocks off this little path here, and Shadow Fiend, who, in all honesty, probably shouldn't have been in this lane, just gets to walk away scot-free, go back to what he was doing. I got a lance pursuit! Immediately gonna slap that on himself, not too surprising there. It's definitely a good item for him, even beyond the capacity of the big mana bar there. I mean, again, the 6% slow is not like super much, and the 15 damage is actually pretty decent. That is going to be like a, basically at this point, like a 10% extra amount of damage. But I mean, the biggest upside here is, you know, just the whole combo come together. Just a lot of good stuff for Shadow Fiend. T1, Radiant T1 top is going down in what might be the rarest exchange of towers so far. They're looking to take out the Radiant looking to respond to that by taking out Dire's bot T1, trying to equalize with the offlane tower here, but Hoodwink's gonna make that kind of a mess. Seems like at this point GXG needs to figure out exactly what they're doing. You know, are we gonna try and def bot? Are we gonna try and hit mid? Support line wants to def bot, but of course want to attack on mid. A little more cohesion there probably wouldn't have been bad either. Just get more rotations out to bot, or just hammer that mid tower till it dies. Not a huge deal though, it's just an equalization, which for strategic objectives, that's not a big loss for the Dire. They have so much mobility, they have so much ability to push out lanes, that the Radiant losing their T1 top meant a lot more than losing the bot tower. It's just a shame they didn't really get anything for it themselves except some wasted time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Kimber Spirit farming up here, best he can at top. There's a very free lane with which to do this. Just so much territory before the Radiant's able to respond at all. And really, I can tell you this much: they're going to need Winter's Curse or Chronos here to catch him anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Batten trying to be annoying with his Aphotic Shield to help the wave keep pushing out. I don't mean to keep harping on this point, but until he gets the Curse of Avernus, of course, he's going to really not mean anything to Viper. Can be very safely ignored, which is kind of going to be a problem for him in the upcoming few minutes. Well, there's a good reveal, yeah, that the enemy might have some sentries there. It's a very awkward defense effort here. Very awkward defense effort and a very awkward push effort. It's really almost more like it's just a Batten is just taking over mid lane. We're having an overtime lane phase out here.
Dire's top tower is under
Double damage on the Shadow Fiend. Okay, got a little bit of a go going on here. The Hoodwink ult swinging a miss. A Batten ult accidentally pops under the tower, so he has to salve up. That's what you like to see. Basil's really trying to work on his stack over here while all this is happening. It's not going to be stackable for much longer. This is just so awkward on both teams' part. It feels like nobody really wants to do anything this game. Everybody's just kind of sitting around this whole environment, just hoping the other team goes away, basically. Chronosphere on the Snapfire gets followed up with the... not on the Snapfire. Chronosphere on the Hoodwink here gets followed up with the Snapfire ult, which means that Hoodwink is super dead. A Batten not really at under any threat here. It's a good Dawnbreaker ult. That just completely stopped this entire turn of events. But the Viper's still just gonna kind of go down though. That is not a guy you want to be just really casually falling down at like 15 minutes, I gotta say.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
It already kind of feels like it's going to be kind of hard for Viper to find any real place to go in this game. Nothing else, he's got that shard already, which is always good. Looking for travels here, so he's decided that his role this game is going to be the split pushing man. But man, what an uphill battle. I really don't think you can do that this game. Like, yeah, no, you just can't do that here. Like, you not only are you not going to be able to effectively push back out lanes, you're also not really going to be a very credible threat to anybody trying to split push either. Like Furion, the Ember Spirit, they both have very good ways to just totally ignore you. And I mean, in a lot of encounters, Shadow Fiend's just going to straight up kill you. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Boots of Travel really do anything for Viper here. Not this particular game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Three-man smoke. Dragon Ball Zeus. 300 Club looking to get something done here. Trying to fight on in support of Viper there. Awkward moment for Furion, who just gets completely hammered. Abaddon just rings the bell, TP's out, basically. So it's good. It's a good get. Good pick there. Dawnbreaker just making that real uncomfortable for the funny broccoli man to deal with.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Faceless Void going to lose about half of his HP in one clean blow. Viper takes out, I believe that was mid T1 here, unless he moved a very large distance in a very short amount of time. Just finishing off an already pretty low tower there. Dragon Ball Zeus trying to play this slow game, trying to take back control of their own territory. At this point, it's the only game they can play. They can't exactly go out and do anything useful right now. The only possible way they get a kill off a Chronosphere is if at least two other ults fall into it at this point, it feels like. It's not like that's going to be very handy for them. Huron got himself a 5 event side, just wants to just totally eat Viper's damage up here.
Dire's top tower
Which,
is under attack.
you know, it's also going to give him the Snapfire, and if it didn't, I would say it's probably not worth it, because Viper's already got that shard. He's already going to be a damage steroid for right clickers more than he's going to be, and himself as well. It's going to be more of a damage steroid for right clickers than he is going to be a menace for his own right. For like the Viper Striko, for example. That would have been a really good moment to Winter's Curse the Shadow Fiend, but it did not exactly come out like that. Ganker x Ganker forcing Dragon Ball Zeus this very awkward situation. Everybody came to defend this tower, but nobody could actually do it. So they just have a bunch of dudes huddling around where their buildings used to be, accomplishing nothing. Definitely a good situation from GXG. They pulled a lot of attention for literally no response. And definitely awkward for DBZ there. Felt like there was a bit of hesitation in using some of the ults. I mean, you know, Molsky's had some trouble with that Lunar Inferno before, but you know, feels like if ever there was a time, right, that would just be totally free. Just make sure the Shadow Fiend doesn't get the ult out and just get him beat up by like a bad in there. Not bad. Dawnbreaker, and what she believes is a 1v1 with the Ember Spirit, is about to turn into very much not that. Ooh, the Sprout comes out a little awkward, does not actually get it done. And as a result, Dawnbreaker is just allowed to phase boots away. Okay, well. It's actually pretty good for Dawnbreaker. They had 3 people on her and didn't actually get the kill. And the Hoodwink is just randomly going to get eaten in the jungle by a Faceless Void here as well. Without even Chrono. Now on the other hand, if the Dawnbreaker actually did go down, that would have been pretty bad, but that's just not how it went down. Feels like right now, like, so much of this team's catch is going to be on Ember's Q, which ain't great, and like Sprout, which, as we've seen there, is not 100% accurate, it seems. I mean, not like it would have been a big deal if she got sprouted, but you know, unless she has the world's quickest trigger finger on the W, she's just probably gonna go down. Okay, Ember Spirit in the worst imaginable spot. Had to take some shots from took some shots from Viper ahead of time with that shard to break his armor, made the Chronosphere attacks really hurt him there. Coblink going down again on the follow-up. It feels like Dark Ace so far this game has just been kind of not been doing great for himself as far as the non-dying initiative goes. Dragon Ball Zeus just very cleanly take out top T2. Viper, it seems, eventually agreed with me that Travels is not going to get anything done from this game, as instead moved to phase boots into BKB. No, I don't think I like the BKB this game either. It's like just so little of what they have on offer actually like gets stopped by that, I feel like. It is going to stop any future Fury on Orchids, and that's like the biggest thing it's going to do. Like, the Ember Spirit, Q gets stopped by it for as much as that matters. That's not how he does his damage, and it's not the biggest lockdown. Like, not only not the biggest lockdown in the world, also not lockdown that's probably going to be dropping on his head in particular. It's gonna like stop the Shadow Fiend ult if he lets it happen, and if he lets it happen, it's because it's hitting somebody more important anyway. So like, yeah, I don't know. The BKB here, especially this early, just does not seem like it's necessary. It feels like it would. It's just a much better tactic for him to try and go for like a Hurricane Pike instead. I feel like that's actually a much better survival option here. Still a whole world falling on Viper here. He's actually living through it until Kid Dynamite, I believe that's BKB reveal, to tank through and just kill him. But Kid Dynamite gonna die to the winner's curse here. Abaddon accidentally, no he's not, he's actually gonna be fine. Never mind. Okay, yeah, that ain't good. So there you go, though. BKB much better on Shadow Fiend than it's going to be on the Viper. That much I can tell you for a fact. 4 for nothing trade there. It feels like everyone kind of forgets that the funny blue man is on Ganker X Ganker, and Abaddon just
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
the talent you got for 400 radius on Bush. Walk. Jesus. Hey, Curse of Avernus is finally here. Great. Ben actually got that in lieu of a trade here. I guess in fairness, because Curse of Avernus movement slow probably wouldn't have been very good without it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's Khalid skill. Damn. If I'm in this game, I'm just immediately just gonna say asterisk called. So immediate finding on that fight is that Dragon Ball Zeus, and to the surprise of perhaps absolutely no one, cannot fight at all without that Chronosphere. Well, that Viper BKB purchase is now justified as Furion uses the pro through that last battle to get the Orchid, so now this has gone from unnecessary to very necessary. Now he would have been able to put Furion back had he not gone for it though, so I'm still gonna say like, if he doesn't get the BKB here, he doesn't actually have to get it for longer because he's able to get more kills. Going all in on mana regen here. He's got both the Null Talisman and the Ring of Basilius. And he's got Clarities in his backpack. This man never wants to be dry. Feels like the biggest problem at this point is that nobody can, like, potentially stop either Ember. Okay. Void with full Mjolnir and Mask of Madness, so he's going to be able to get some right-click kills. Was looking at the Shadow Fiend there, but just ultimately decided to not intervene. I was going to lose about half his health here before Furion shows up. Big reveal on the Orchid, though Dawnbreaker is going to save this. Very awkward for GXG. Okay. Well, that ain't where you want to be for Shadow Fiendle. That much I can tell. He doesn't. He can't see her. He didn't know where she was. Oh my god, that was so sad. Okay, well, goodbye to the. Never mind. Void's actually gonna get stunned out there. What? Stun Void. Hold on, I gotta see. I gotta re-look at this Chronosphere. What was getting? Oh, he was just whacked out. There's a Chrono happening right now. You weren't allowed to see it there. Okay. Yeah, that super sucks. That's kind of what I was talking about earlier. It's just so hard for them to actually get anything meaningful done on a Chronosphere.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Also very hard, it seems, for Ganker in turn. I like his Furion's attack animation is now broken. It seems it's very hard for Ganker to actually get anyone killed, though. So everybody on DBZ is kind of just retreating with like 1% health. Well, Viper's not going to make it. So it's another death for the top value core. In fact, top value player in general. I mean, it'd be bad if the support was at the top. Another fall for the top value on DBZ, and this is a very early game focus core. Let's just make no mistake here. You know, if you're picking Viper, you're looking early. So to that end, yeah, it is really looking like there's just no victory condition for them here. Nobody can stop any of these three cores on the Dire from farming, like even a little bit. It feels like. And Chronosphere, as that's seen there. You know, if the Chronosphere isn't literally perfect, it's just going to be a straight up flop, like. I don't know. I think the first time you get Ember Spirit in a Chrono, and this Chronosphere, like, Ember Spirit in a solo Chrono, and the Chrono ends with Faceless Void dying, I mean, that's just such a bad sign. Four-man smoke out here. Yeah, scanned out the triangle, so they know exactly where Void is. He has friends here, but they're gonna walk right up to him. They're gonna walk right up to him. This ain't good. But they're also not gonna get him though, so he's gonna have to live with Snapfire. Feels like they needed the Furion there for that, but he was split pushing bot. I don't know if Furion realizes it yet, but Furion is the only like guarantor of kills in this game, basically. If they don't have the Orchid, there's so much response from any of the enemies to just get away. Double damage! Viper trying to make this push kind of a no-go zone for the Ganker x Ganker lineup here. Not really finding any success in that front. Could be bad for Dawnbreaker. Nope, they have so much escape that Dawnbreaker just gets out anyway. Okay, never mind. Void's just gonna troll her. Puts her in popsicle jail just for the death. Abaddon gets ulted with the Winner's Curse up, and Molsky goes, ah, nuts. Shadow Fiend is going to go down in this fight, and the rest of his team is just going to have to pull a retreat. But we killed 2 of the 3 cores. Viper lives, but at this point in the game, really, who cares? He's so far behind where he would need to be relevant in like 10 minutes. 10k net worth advantage now for GXG. Titan Sliver drop in there for Furion.
Well, ain't this cute?
Once again, just poor Hoodwink, dude. Just cannot catch a break this game. GXG gonna get some revenge for this, though. Just immediately putting up the gank squad on this. And that's dieback for the Dawnbreaker. That's not good. That's very not good. This is already such a hard game, and then Dawnbreaker's just randomly gonna die here. Like, not only die back here. This is a awkwardly long period of time for this point in the game that this team does not get her around. Though it does not look like the Dragon Ball Zeus lineup is going to present any real opportunities for GXG here. Looks like they're pretty much just going to kind of pull back, play it defensive,
Radiant's
give up
middle
some
tower is
objectives
under
to do
attack.
this.
Never refuse gold given.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
G2 mid going down. Only Edo Tower remaining now for Dragon Ball Zeus. Is there... Okay, this is going to get even worse maybe. Void's just randomly going to die. Okay. Radiant supports use everything in their entire bag of tricks to try and free the Faceless Void there, and it does actually succeed. Though again, it's probably not great that they just had to use 2 different ults to bail out Void there. Considering that like nothing really went down on the enemy side except the 8-second BKB for Ember Spirit. I mean, hey, the 8-second BKB on Ember Spirit does mean something here. You know, stops the Snapfire ult, stops most of Viper's damage, everything but his Viper Strike, for example. Blocks off a lot of the Dawnbreaker, so that is pretty big. But very small potatoes in contrast to what they gave up. Though, it seems like it's not going to matter. It's like the game slows down to such a degree that everything is back up by this point. You know, nothing at all happening in the intervening time span, basically.
It's not even my birthday.
Rada is going to go down again.
Second chance. Reached an end. Choices?
It's feeling like this Dawnbreaker pick is really not playing out for DBZ at all. It is one of the mainstay Rada heroes, but it feels like in this particular game, there's just so many ways to just stop him in his tracks.
Radiant's bottom tower
Dawn
is
just
under
can't catch a
attack.
break. Though neither can Kid Dynamite. Shadow Fiend being walked at here by 5 people. That's a little awkward, but it's gonna be okay.
Radiant structures are fortified.
That is good for DBZ there. Just get a very random casual kill on the Shadow Fiend. If they can go double and get the Ember Spirit, then we're talking. Ember Spirit just picks up an entire Chrysalis casually. But it feels like until they get the Ember Spirit and the Fury on, it's not gonna mean anything. RG gonna get tipped for the crime of having his courier die.
Starting to feel a bit nutty.
From Blaze to Inferno. Tribute to my house.
Everyone in the triangle getting circled here.
Radiant's top tower
Offense
is under
trying to come out here against the Ganker x Ganker lineup, but Dragon Ball Zeus is just as hard pressed to actually catch anyone as it feels like Ganker x Ganker is. Is that what silenced the Ember Spirit there? That's a bit interesting. Ember Spirit loses quite a lot of HP on that little exchange. Void unwittingly to the GXG lineup, but has no idea that happened. Just getting himself kind of pinned down in the tree line over here.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Ben just finished up Guardian Grease, immediately pops him to show everybody that he has him. Shadow Fiend looking at the silver edge here. Let's get rid of some of these passes on the enemy team. Void's an obvious one, but I mean, if Shadow Fiend breaks Viper and then ults Viper, is just gonna die instantly, basically. This is a super good Roche lineup, and Roche is just exactly what JXQ is gonna do here. But we got Faceless Voids. It's gonna Chrono into the pit here, make this real awkward. Until he dies, that is. When he dies, it's not bad anymore. A huge Wyvern ult. But it really just does not matter. Just, you know, everything in this game is about how the Chronospheres go, and that one was just as disastrous as it gets. Molfki just accidentally blinked in place, and so he dies. Ultra kill for Looter. Ouch. Again, I see the idea there with that Chronosphere. It's just, it just went so badly for him. The GXG lineup, I think, sniffed it out. Just responded to it exactly how they should have.
Did you fall out of the nest as a baby?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now it's Penance. They're losing this T3. And even with 4 buybacks, they don't really feel like they can do anything about this. Especially not if Rada is just going to go down in mere moments trying. Godlike for Looter.
Radiant's middle has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is fallen.
Winter River and Alpha just gonna die out here. 2 lanes of Rags down now on a team that really has no ability to defend them, like defend from even supers. If Megas happen here, it's gonna get really impossible for Radiant really fast. So it seems Megas are not going to be coming out here, at least not yet. Nature's Prophet finishing up Bloodthorn here, which is going to be doing a lot of good from this particular game, I think. Just going to be able to... You know, I think sometimes people kind of underestimate how much of a negative impact the Mage Slayer can have on your damage. So the Mage Slayer component of that, plus the silence element of it, is going to mean, you know, a lot of this magic damage, a lot of that Viper damage, a lot of that Dom damage, a lot of that Snapfire damage, basically all at this point in the game, going to be cut into really heavily by Furon, who not only has the Pipe of Insight, which has that 15% magic resist aura on it at all times anyway. He's already knocking out 15% of your magic damage. Now how about 35% more? Slow siege here on the bot T3. They just... Abaddon just sold that was the real Shadow Fiend so hard that it got Viper Struck. So Viper Strike just totally wasted on an illusion. Which, it's not gonna work twice, spoilers. Almost a bit of a shame that this isn't a Manta style on the Shadow Fiend here. To just keep pressuring this lane for just without any risk in perpetuity. Gonna try and bully the Dawnbreaker here, but for some reason they just like assumed she was gonna run out of base, even though that would be very incorrect at this point. Viper's gonna try and take a fight here. Furion is gonna, well, Furion's actually gonna take quite a bit of damage here. Dawnbreaker jumps right back into it, but nothing is accomplished. And while that was happening, this T3 bot went down. Got that E-Blade. Okay, so Hoodwink was like, Abaddon, I know you're ulting right now, but I need you to take no more damage. Shadow Fiend takes out the bot melee racks. Dawnbreaker's gonna get rooted for about 5.5 hours and then die. I think, oh no, Hoodwink's actually gonna get tipped. Grotto here on the Ember Spirit, but boy dies. RIP. Rada is being very unhappy in chat.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It is Void's bed.
Not my fault they don't die.
Radiant's middle tower has
I think Kid Dynamite there just kind of was awkwardly stopping to try and type. Before he realized, hey, wait a minute, we haven't actually won yet. Gotta kill the Viper. Viper destroyed. Rada is mad. Game is over. At a mercifully short by Season 14 standards, 42 minutes to boot. Alright, so this is another one of these games, I feel like. We've seen a few of these this season, where I think there's just too much was built on the Chronosphere this game. If Dragon Ball Zeus was ever going to win this game, basically what they just needed to have happen is that they just needed to get these constant barrage, this constant battery of like 3 or 4 man Chronospheres. I mean, 5 is obviously out of the question. That's a very rare opportunity, even in a game where the enemy team is going to be in a pretty tight formation, but Dragon Ball Zeus basically needed to get these constant 3 or 4 man Chronos, and it felt like they were never able to find more than 1 or 2. And it feels like every time he had those 1 or 2 man Chronos, the end result was always the same. Void goes down, the Chrono target does not. And that's really as simple as it gets. I mean, they built all around a Chronosphere that they couldn't actually use. I think even though, you know, you might look at this game and say, okay, boss is going to drop the ball here, maybe. You know, he's, you know, that low MMR pause 1, right? The Herald pause 1 or whatever. No, I think boss actually did good for, like, with the circumstances of the game. I think, in theory, the Chronospheres that did come out were good. It's just, like, this was such a horrible, horrible game for Faceless Void to be in. Horrible game for him to be looking at. He's just kind of set up almost to fail here. And maybe the winner will earn the winner's curse was supposed to be there as like a backup. You know, what if the Chronosphere fails, but in practice, that's just not how it turned out. You know, GXG just did not position themselves in a conducive way for the enemy team, and they just really, like, the enemy team was just like, I don't know, it's like, they have all these guys that just really want you to all get together, but they have no ability to actually even encourage you to do so. So GXG can just have, like, this, you know, very skirmisher type formation, everybody just playing very separately, very distantly from each other, and all Dragon Ball Zeus can do to stop that is just say, please get together? Please, maybe? I mean, you have the Viper there, but, like, you know, when Viper got that second item BKB, basically, after the Dragonlance, it was already like, okay, so Viper's not going to be winning 1v1s this game. that much is out of the question. You know, he's just trying to gear all for team fights. So no, they even lost that potential possibility. GXG just drafted a team and played in a formation where DBZ had no win chance, no win condition at all, and that's the bottom line. If you or somebody you know wants to learn Dota 2 at a casual or more competitive level, go to ld2l.gg right now to sign up today, and we don't have time for more funny spiel. It's time to get on to the very last Season 13 games so they can finally be caught up!